Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl Mitzi, and this is Mitzi. Let's think about it. Today, we are thinking about protecting our digital data and memories. Isn't that a thinker? Well, with that being said, thank you so much, Andrew, for being my guest on the show today to talk about this and for us to really think about this. And I really appreciate your perspective on this matter as a photographer for so many years. I know you have the insight behind this. So let's just dive right in and break down this topic, right? Digital data, what does that make you think about?
It makes me think of responsibility because it's not just my digital data, it's also people who expect me to be the steward of it because I am sort of the family historian, if you will. So
Okay.
I feel like there's a responsibility for all the photographs that I've taken of my family, the videos, also our personal files related to taxes and business. And
Mm.
and my extended family also is always looking to me for photographs from, like a wedding 20 years ago, et cetera, et cetera. So to
Yeah.
me, it always goes back to family.
Yeah.
And it's really like magic, the fact that we can have these photographs, which is only
Yeah.
like a few hundred years, really, in which we are able to essentially click a button or open up the front of a lens cap,
Yeah.
take that off and have an image appear. So that's what comes to me mind first. Of course, there's a lot more to it, but that's what comes to mind first.
No, I appreciate that. You're the go-to man since you're very knowledgeable in the photography world and just knowing how to protect it and really make sure that they're, you know, identified and you know where they are, categories and everything. Having that organization is necessary, especially if you have photos from years and years and years ago, you know what I mean? But I think one thing I love about photography is kind of like what you were talking about, is how it just captures time. It just freezes time. Like that's the only time where you can really freeze time is when you take a
Mhm.
photo, like not a video, like a photo. Like it's just bloop there, it's frozen. Like you can't do
Mhm.
anything more about it. And I think that's what always got me intrigued about photography when I was in high school and just learning about it. And I grew up in the era where photography, I seen the stages of, the cameras change throughout the years, and to
Mhm.
see it where now like people prefer an actual phone versus holding a real camera. But I'm like, there's something about holding a real camera
Mhm. Yeah.
that no one can really take away from you. So it leads me to my next question. What really got you into photography?
I think it was first because my dad was into photography, so he would take
Oh, okay.
pictures with slide film. And so from time to time, he'd bring out the slide projector and the screen, and we would
Oh,
watch the slides from different trips and things like that. And so that was always intrigued me. And then in about sixth grade, I guess I was about 12 years old,
okay.
we went on a trip to Washington, D.C. with
Okay.
my class. And I remember I came back with photographs. I have no idea what the camera was, but it was really interesting to have these photographs from my trip. Then in high school is where the real magic happened because I went into the dark room in the
Yes.
yearbook office and I was just amazed at what I saw when the images just appeared out of nowhere,
Yes.
in black and white. So having that experience, then taking pictures for the school yearbook and newspaper, led me to really explore more and learn more about photography. And the big jump then was in high school. I applied for a scholarship to study and live in Japan with a family. And I was
Nice.
fortunate. I received that and I went off to Japan at age 18. The family took me in as part of a wonderful program under Youth for Understanding is the name of it.
Okay.
And I had the most amazing time. I had a homestay brother, sister, mom, and dad. Went to Japanese high school for a little bit. Also went to some beautiful cultural sites and just had the best time. I was taking pictures of just about everything, including all the family meals. And
Oh,
whenever we would go to places like Nara and other beautiful places around Japan, I would be there with my camera. Then when I got back, I would show my pictures to people. I put them in albums and it was like, wow, I can tell stories. And I realized the power of photography because all you need
yes.
are those still images and you and your excitement about it to tell the stories of what it was like.
Oh, absolutely. And sometimes just depending on the photo and what you're capturing in that moment, you can just see it by somebody else's eyes, you know what I mean? Or just somebody else's like just that moment, you know what I mean? You can just feel it. You could be there and just understand. I think that's just what motivated people to get into the video, you know what I mean? Because they wanted
Hmm.
more, you know what I mean? Like there has to be more, you know? So I think that's a great way of leading from photography to videos. But I think,
Hmm.
but to go back to the main topic is how do you necessarily protect our digital data and memories? How do you necessarily do that?
Okay, that's a big question. However, I can make a few specific suggestions for anyone
Okay.
at all.
Yes.
And I'd say, first of all, you probably have a smartphone if you're watching this. And if so, your smartphone has a way for you to back everything up. So let's first talk about iPhones. iPhone, the people at Apple will give you a very small free amount of data for everything on your phone. That's not enough.
Yeah.
So I would recommend you invest in the same basic size of your phone in data up to a certain amount, meaning for most people, you don't need to pay more than, I think it's $1.99 US for 200 gigabytes for most people.
Hmm.
And that will generally cover what's most important, which is your photographs and your videos.
Yeah.
But you do have to kind of keep an eye on it. And then if you need to go higher, it's fine. You just have to pay more. So that's the best thing you can do because if you drop your phone, if your phone is stolen, if your phone, something just happens to it, at least you have everything that was on the phone. And
Yeah.
they're very smart in how they manage the data because even though the apps take up space, they don't they don't take up space in your account. Like you can always just get the apps back. It's your data that you're concerned with, mainly your photographs and videos, and then there's other data, but it takes up much less. That's
Exactly.
that's for iPhones. For Android, depending on what you have, you may have a Google Photos account that either came with your phone that's free, or you may have to invest a bit. Google actually has a really affordable option. I think it's about $99 for like a terabyte, which is for most people, it's going to be more than enough. And so I would look carefully at that option, but many people will only need to spend maybe $30 a year. And so 99 a year is what I was talking about. So somewhere in that range, you can pretty much protect at least everything on your phone. And that's for 95% of people out there, that's going to be the best advice that I can probably give.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, usually what I do is just connect to the cloud
Mhm.
and the cloud backs up. And as long as I'm where it's able to load that I'm good, you know, then I can log into whatever device as long as I log into my cloud. Or I usually use like one specific like for instance Snapchat. If you take your pictures all on the Snapchat app, then it saves automatically and then you can choose to save it on the device.
Hmm.
But at least you can, if you lose that device and download Snapchat on another device, it brings up
Hmm.
all of your photos again. So that's a nice little thing too. So if you find applications who have that also, I think that's another way to secure your data and your memories because that was one of the things that I used to hate is that, you know, all of my these photos, all of these memories would be on my phone. Because you know, when
Yes.
you had the cameras, the actual cameras, at least you could
Hmm.
like download it on your laptop or at least
Hmm.
get them developed at Walgreens or wherever you get your
Hmm.
cameras developed. And
Yeah.
you would have all of these photos that were like blurry or like weird, but you know, they were still your memories. But now on your phone, you're more precise. You got to retake it and it's picture
Mhm.
perfect. But you know, at least we can have it saved, you know, because we don't print those out right away. We take a picture and then we're like, okay, we forget about it. We keep going. People don't have photo albums like they used to. So when you were like, yeah, I used to show people my
Hmm.
photo albums, like I remember those, you know what I mean? I remember seeing
Hmm.
those on the coffee tables at families' houses and like you would reminisce and bring them back. And now it's like it's not a thing. Now you have like a picture frame and photos just going by digitally. But I guess
Yes.
that's the new digital age, you know, it just enhances in that manner. So I guess my next question is, I know you invented the gallery pouch, the gallery pouch.
Mhm.
And what inspired you, if you don't mind me asking you?
Sure. Well, that's sort of part of my whole life of helping people with their backups. And that's a sort of backup in that you're protecting your artwork. What happened in my case was I had an exhibition
Okay.
at a really nice store and it wasn't in a gallery. So I think galleries probably have certain approaches to when the artwork comes down off the walls. There's a certain procedure. But in this case, it was in a really nice store. And when they came down, for whatever reason, the backs of my framed art, which has like metal and a wire, ended up rubbing against the front of the wood. So a number of them got scratched. So that made me think, well, maybe I could get individual bubble bags for each of them. And I couldn't really find something, especially here in the US. And then I said, well, I looked around and then I knew someone in Dallas, Texas, and I asked him, "Can you make me custom bubble bags?" And he said, "I'll give it a try." So he did, and then we worked together. We found this really nice heavyweight bubble material, which looks like this.
Everybody, if you're only listening, you gotta get on the YouTube and go find it. Oh, okay, that's nice. It's like a regular packaging.
Yes,
That
but it's a
is really
heavyweight. It
nice.
has a really nice feel to it. It's
It looks thick.
laminated on both sides. You can purchase it with or without Velcro across here. And also, they can be made in any size, from like the size of an iPad up to a large screen TV,
Huh.
and in quantities as few as one. And the main thing that people appreciate, first of all, you can put like, I have like three different pieces of art in this one, a framed metal print, and then I have a gallery wrapped canvas.
Wow.
So whether you have thick art or you can put two pieces together next to each other and you can put something in between them. But the main thing is it avoids rolls of bubble and tape, which ends up being an absolute nightmare when you get to your
Yeah.
destination. And even if it protected what you need, just try to put it back. It's not easy to put it back. So this way, they're going to last for a very long time. You can use them over and over. Like if you have a basement and you want to keep things and water even comes up, they're waterproof and they're just extremely nice as well compared to most bags, which don't have very nice seams on the side. These you could present something, let's say that it's a $5,000 piece of art where you can actually present it and not be embarrassed at that
Mm.
first level of protection. And it's good for clients as well because they can keep it anywhere and still, as long as they don't, like put a chair through it or something, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, they don't ram it with a knife or something. Yeah,
Exactly.
they should be fine because it looks very sturdy.
Yeah.
It looks like packaging, like real
Yes.
packaging, but so that's the nice thing about it. That's interesting. I'm glad that you had a problem and then you were able to solve it and you were like, yes, I'm gonna share this with the rest of the world because I know I'm not the only one struggling. So I'm glad that's something that you did out. And
Mhm.
it sucks because I know time is catching up to us. So what can be some lasting words of wisdom that you can keep leave us off with to keep on thinking?
I would say the best thing you can do is think about everything that you care about as far as digital data and think about if you woke up tomorrow and it was all
Yeah.
gone. And now let's just take one more step because it's not all gone today. And I'll give you some resources you can find out more. But either way, most people will want an online cloud backup. My favorite is called Backblaze.
Okay.
And most people will also want to figure out how to back up your social media because
Mm.
when you back up your social media, it tends not to go away. If you don't back it up, I don't know. This has something to do with Murphy and his law. When you back things up and you learn how, and if you have to rebuild it, you can. But if you knew the number of people who have lost their data in social media. It's so sad. So I'll just leave that. Even if you never look at the resources that we're going to prepare for everyone, that I have a special page for everyone, or if you go to my website, backup.fm, just please remember, figure out how to back up your social media.
Yeah, yeah, that's one thing that you can most definitely keep on thinking about because since we live in an age where social media is such a big part of everyone's life, one way or another, it's kind of necessary to have something where if God forbid anything were to happen, at least you have your files that you download directly or straight to your accounts on a different device that you don't always have access to. These
Mm.
are things that we really got to start thinking about, is how can we protect ourselves and our memories and, our livelihood in our accounts, that everything that we post out online. So yes, thank you for this opportunity to speak on this.
There's one more thing I really want to
Yeah.
make sure people know. Even
Yes.
though we're not making, double prints at the photo mat, that doesn't mean that you cannot just easily go into 100 different places and make prints. And when you make prints, or you can make a book inexpensively, I won't name all the places where you can do it, but consider making a book, making prints, because there's really nothing like a gift where you can just buy a frame off the shelf with like a 4x6 print. It's probably going to cost you $5 to $10, and people will treasure that more than $1,000 gift often.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that 100% because I send my in-laws actual photos of my boys to them and pictures and portraits, and then I
Mhm.
send it to them, and they appreciate that much more than me just sending them the videos or the
Yeah.
pictures on their phones or something. When they see them, they actually say that they go off and show them off to the people who visit them in their house, like, oh yes, this is my grandchildren, and it's something that we don't have anymore. So I think that is a valid point. You can easily go and then go to Walgreens, go to Walmart, go to wherever you get your Target, wherever they have these printing stations still, you can still do it because man, nothing is just that physical touch of just seeing that. That's really captures that time, that moment in such a way where
Mhm.
you can really value it. And then the fact that you can flip it in the back and write the story of what happened, what was going on. Oh, I used to love writing those. Those are the best feelings. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Go check them out. Go check out the links on the notes that we have here. His website's available, or if you're already on my website, just click on his face and it goes directly to his website so that you can continue on thinking, right? Because he has so much great stuff to offer the world so that we can continue on thinking. So with that being said, bye.